Right. I just hooked up the antenna outdoors. I told you earlier, I think I made an antenna going back, don't know when, to be honest with you. I'd be lying to you if I gave you a date of any sort. But I had a guy here one day, a friend, that had a radio that was in the VHF band. It was a commercial band radio, though it wasn't the ham band. And he was having a problem with the microphone. And now I'm not set up to do repairs anymore. You know, when I sold the store, I got rid of all my equipment, my Marconi spectrum analyzers, and all my B&K stuff. I should have kept some of the stuff, though. You know, thinking if I ever get back into this, but you know, you don't. So I told him, well, if it's a microphone, I said, I can help you with that. I said, I can figure out that. That's not a big deal. I said, but if there's anything wrong with the actual radio, this is, I'm not equipped to really trace that anymore. So I've got an ohm meter here, but I can only do so much with an ohm meter, and with the newer radios, it's not like it used to be. So anyway, he came over, and it took me about 20 minutes to build a quick antenna, and I put it up out there, and I figured, well, let me hook it up. You know, it's for that frequency. It'll work on 2 meter. You know, and I got an inexpensive meter here that's been kicking around for years. And I had to run an extra jumper, an extension cable to get it here, because the antenna cable stops about 20 feet from where we are. So luckily I had a barrel connector, which allows you to screw 2 together. You never want to just splice wires together. You want to have a connector. If there's an opening, you're going to have a problem. But I hooked it up, and I made contact with a repeater that's about 15 miles from here. But it's across the pond, so it's not... Hold on a minute, guys. Anyway, it's across the pond, meaning Long Island Sound. But made contact with him, so it's not too bad. And we're pretty well set here. And the SWRs are showing good. You know, I trust this meter enough to where I can test it. Am I going to continue to start learning the radio and having fun with the radio? No. I'm not going to do that until I actually get a better meter on here. I want to get a crosshair meter. What it is it's 2 needles, and they sit. There's 2 needles, your meter, and there's a needle here and a needle here, and there's a set of numbers here and a set of numbers here. One is power, one is reflective power, SWRs. Lets you know what's going on. If your reflective power is too high, you're going to blow the PA circuit in the unit. PA power amplifier. It's an IC chip that, you know, some people in CB radios would call it a final output transistor. But anyway, what it does is when you key the mic, both needles will swing. All right, and your power output should naturally swing a lot higher than your reflective. You want your reflective to stay as low as possible, because once it starts getting up, you got problems. You know, if it's poof, then you got a serious problem. All right, but again, you don't want your reflective power to be too high. But the cross needles are very easy to use and quick to read. You don't have to worry about switching switches back and forth or making adjustments. All right, to find out, to calibrate it, so to speak. So I'm going to get a good crosshair because I haven't got any around. I've got a couple of more meters and a couple of frequency counters and things, but nothing that's really 2 meter 440, you know, based. You know, more of a generic, and I want to narrow it down more. Okay, so that's where I'm at. Anyway, we're pretty well set here. Yeah, it's got good deviation. All right, and deviation, by the way, in CB terms. Now I'm talking back when I was around 30 years ago. Right? Things maybe have changed. Terminology may have changed. Just like in guns, it's changed. You know, but back when I was in ham, right? Before I got out of it for 30 years, I'm still licensed, but modulation was something that you would call on your CB. Hello, hello, audio, audio. That forward swing, that's modulation. All right, and then you have your peak, PEP, peak envelope power. All right, that's also part of your modulation, and that's another sideband thing. With your amateur gear and commercial stuff, it's called deviation. So there's a little bit different technology or terminologies. So there's, just different wording. Now that may have changed. I'm not going to know until I get on, and when I get on there, I'm sure that I'm going to learn quick. Amateurs are just like anything else, you get some that are patient and you get some that think you should know it all. That's the repeater identifying itself. Repeaters have to identify themselves every so often. And with repeaters, if you're into above the 147, for instance, it's 6 up, meaning a split. You receive and transmit on 2 different frequencies. So it's 6 up. So if I key the mic on this one, it's going to go up to 148. You see that? All right, top. So 147, 825. 147, 225. All right, so it goes up 6. If you're below the 147, it'll go down 6. You follow me? And that's how you would normally program them. A lot of radios are already pre-programmed to do that. But you want to have the option to change that, because there are some repeaters that have a 1 meg split. All right, there's a repeater around here that falls around, if I remember right, 147,505 and 140. Is it 146,505? No, 147,505. So then it's transmit 148,505. All right. So some of them have a 1 meg split. So you want to make sure that your radios have the option to work your splits. Otherwise, you're kind of limited. There's not many out there, but there are a few. All right, guys, I'm done with you.